Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Here's Vittorio Mesa. We're back talking about mobile parts today. We have a special guest, John Evans, super guest experience operator. They have a bunch of mobile parts out there. So I wanted to talk with them today, connect with them today. So thank you for being here with me and taking your time today. Thank you, John. Nice having you
Yeah,
here.
thanks for inviting me.
So I want to ask you first, just give you a little bit of background. What's your background life before mobile parts, and why you think that what are one thing that translate to your operation that you have brought from your previous life before mobile parts?
Uh, well, my previous life was just being an employee, just working, I mean, that's most of us did that. I didn't really have any type of business background or any type of um, upbringing in a business family or anything. We just worked. um, which is nothing wrong with that. But that definitely taught me, just how to work hard and to keep going. Um, but yeah, I was just a blue collar worker that knew somewhere deep down that that's just wasn't enough. I wanted something more, and not just more money, just more freedom and just more growth and more out of life in general, which mobile home parks are the greatest at that, in my opinion. If you compare that to a traditional business, I mean, I have plenty of time throughout the day. I'm busy, but there's time that I have that somebody that's running, some type of HVAC business, they don't have any time. They're constantly working where, doing a business like this, it kind of frees your time up. But so I just knew that I wanted to do something. And it's funny that I was looking on Craigslist, which I guess is still a thing, but it was popular years ago. And I saw this ad for a mobile home park. Well, it was a trailer park for sale, and it just a light bulb went off. I was like, well, look, you could buy the whole trailer park and you could get all of these different units to collect rent on at one time versus buying single family homes. But everybody I told, that no, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to buy it. Everybody said no. And so I ended up not doing it, and time kept going on, and I just still kept thinking about it. I'm sure there's a lot of other properties for sale. And mind you, this is like 15 years ago when I thought about it. And so I didn't do it. But so one day I'm driving to work and I see a sign. I used to work at different locations all
Patient.
the time. Yeah, I traveled for work. And so I'm driving down this road and I see a for sale sign, and it's in the yard of a mobile home park. That's how I got my first deal. I bought the park from the owner and he financed it to me. And
Wow.
it was right across the street from where I was working at. So I would go by the park after work and do things. And that's what kind of kicked the whole thing off.
Okay. Is it safe to assume that something that some quality that you're bringing to the mobile space is like if someone tell you to do not do this thing or something scrappy, you're gonna do it anyway.
I
That's
feel
that's
like a little bit, but I feel like just in my personality, I've always felt like there was a way of doing something.
Mm,
Even at my job, when there's 10 people that say, well, you can't do it because of this. I was just always the type that, well, what if we did it like this? Then we could do it. I've just always had that mentality of finding a way to do something. And I feel like maybe that's my strong side that helped me grow, I guess.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. As for and this really translates in the next question because I know that basically you went from that first park and basically when you met your partner, you guys scale super, super
Yeah.
quickly. super quickly. You guys went basically from zero to 400, 500 nodes
Yeah.
immediately. So I wanted to ask you, what is special, one, about your partnership, and two, also, if someone is looking for a partner, what do you think? What are those qualities that someone has to look for?
We really need somebody that complements on your weaknesses. You could kind of each person has their own specialty. You wouldn't want two exact people doing the same thing. So my partner was just an expert in finance, and I wasn't. But he was also, and I'm not saying he doesn't find deals because he definitely does, but I was just good at connecting with mom and pop park owners and just getting deals that way off market, which is how I've got like 90% of the deals, just talking to mom and pop. So that was how I partnered with him. He was already an established operator, and I had owned two parks on my own, and I sold those, so I had a little bit of cash. And so he said, "Yeah, you find a deal, I'll partner with you." And so that's what I did. I just started spending all of my spare time cold calling. And so I just found deals.
Wow, wow, that's really powerful, because I was wondering, because there's a lot of people get this scale, quote unquote, slowly. I don't know, that's the wrong word that I want to use, because pretty much you guys, pretty much everyone that I'm talking to in this space, they've been here maybe in, in the span of maybe 6, 7 years. They have like
Yeah.
thousand of slots. So I guess it's pretty common, but at the same time it's not, because you guys are scaling super fast, and there's always this component. And where do you find those partnership? I mean, do you want to where do you find your partner?
Basically, so I was just looking around on the internet, and I found SECO, the Southeast Community Owners.
Okay.
Uh, that's in Atlanta every like September, I think it is, of every year. Um, And so I went there and I just walked around and just talked to a bunch of different operators, told them what I was trying to do, and they kind of, told me their story. I talked to broker, I talked to a whole bunch of people before I landed on my current partner. So actually, I never even spoke with him directly. It was a referral from a
Oh,
broker, and so then I called my partner and we spoke and just kind of hit it off. But
got it.
man, you really have to be a good judge of character, I would say. And I mean, you can't just find somebody, oh, there's my partner, let's go. You have to be very, specific about what you're doing. But
But that was your first partnership, or you have maybe other partnership that went south?
no, that's it. Just my current partner now. And so actually I'm trying to expand a little bit just because not every deal fits his box, you know.
Mm.
And
Oh,
so he's my, what's that?
do you have right now different buy box, or maybe different, how they call, yeah, different buy box right now? Do you feel you can handle different type of buy box?
I mean, he's very intelligent, first of all, but he's in certain regions, and there's certain regions,
Mm.
you know,
Okay.
and so I know other operators that are in different regions. So if I can find a deal there and partner with them when my current partner isn't interested, I'd do it that way.
Oh, okay.
Which I haven't done that yet, but that's what I'm exploring right now.
Got it. Oh, okay. So basically, you're looking for your partner, basically a finance guy, but in another market, basically. You're
Yeah,
kind of try to duplicate your partner in another market.
yeah, I want to duplicate what I've already done before, but like I said, my current partner is my number one, and
Yeah.
everything else is kind of secondary. If it doesn't fit his box, I know where I can place it.
Mm, got it. Got it.
So basically, I feel like I kind of started my own little niche with inside that. And that's
Yeah.
another great way of doing it. If you have trusted partners and you want to be the deal guy and you can place deals with different areas, you can do that.
Yeah. Definitely. That's where I want to be when I grow, quote unquote grow up. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm already old. But yeah.
that's definitely a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Especially if like where you are, you're not local, you know. You can do it that way.
Yeah. That's really what I want to accomplish. And what about your last acquisition? Instead of going with your first deal, breaking down that one, let's go with the last acquisition. Uh, uh, what was the market or
The last one it's been a little while. It was actually in July of last year.
Mhm.
But it was a portfolio. It was 240 something lots.
only big deals you guys did? Okay,
Yeah, and
only big ones.
it's a nice one. It's very nice. It's outside Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, oh, strong market.
Yeah, it's crazy how. And the weird thing about it is like it's it's in the Raleigh market, but it's probably I don't know 45 minutes from Raleigh, maybe a little farther. And it's
Hmm.
like it's not rural, but there's no Walmart. There's like
Mm.
yeah, it's a small town and there's stuff there, but it's not like a metro like Raleigh. It's like
Yeah,
out in the country. But at the same time, houses are just selling like crazy. I mean, the growth is there.
all 200 units are there in that small town.
What is it?
All those 200 unit lots are out there in that small town, or
Yeah, they're all not that town, but some little like
neighborhood
10,
town.
15 minute. Yeah, they're all in one tight area. It's five different parks in one really tight area
Oh
that
wow.
and it was a mom and pop that just basically he scaled into his own region just because he knew everybody. If you can
Mm.
find those markets and go after those. That's crazy because all these operators they talk about primary and secondary markets. You don't want to be in tertiary. It's like I feel the opposite. If you can find those tiny markets that are going to experience growth or are already experiencing the growth, that's where you want to be. I'm not saying to go out in the middle of nowhere, but the smaller areas, because the cities are a lot of people are leaving these larger cities and they're moving to smaller areas just because of traffic and crime and whatever else, housing prices and whatever else.
Mm.
That's the my focus, basically, those places.
And what about financing for that deal? Because I guess if it's a little bit outside the MSA, maybe it's gonna be tough for the financing, or
Yeah.
maybe because
Uh,
it's 200 units, it
well,
was
this
easy.
property, it's all paved streets. It's
Mm.
city water. Some of them are city water, city sewer. They're all city water. They're all paved streets. They're all paved driveways. They're all curbs. They're really nice properties. So that already jumps up your financing options, strangely enough. But I wouldn't think it would matter, but it does to the bank. Um, but also this deal is owner financed.
Oh, nice,
So
nice.
that's always a plus.
Did you find that deal? How do
No,
you came
my
across?
partner actually, that was one of his deals.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. And how do you guys source? I guess maybe it's a involuntary or maybe it's not, but how do you guys source your deal? Because I feel like you avoid brokers for some type of reason. I don't know exactly why, but maybe it's just casual.
Yeah,
But
that came from a broker from one of his established relationships.
oh, that was
That,
from a broker.
Yeah, that really adds to your scaling abilities, you know. But you can still go from zero to there. You can still do it, you know.
Mm, nice.
That's
Because
kind of the tricky part is finding something like that off market, you know. You can do it, but it's a little harder.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But usually, what we do is okay if for some reason for for some reason the owner is already talking to a broker or it's already listed, we're gonna just move on. We're gonna just move on. So we feel
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of value as it's that you go creative with the seller finance, but we want just just move on. It's gonna
yeah,
just go to the bottom of the pipeline, and maybe you can we're gonna revisit maybe 6 months down the line if it didn't sell. But
yeah. Well, the thing that helped us there is we already had all that scale in the area. You know, we already own in North Carolina. Like right now, it's like 900 lots in North
oh,
Carolina.
how well, all in nine.
Yeah.
Oh, and what about the markets? Do you guys own in other markets too, or just?
Yeah. You know, my partner, he owns other deals, you know, on his own. So
Mhm.
I didn't partner with him on every deal, but we have another community in Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
Okay,
which it's 85 lots. And that
okay,
that just popped up out of nowhere from a broker. And
and
yeah, it was a really good deal. So now we're trying to scale in that region. So that's what I've been doing is just I stay on all the owners in that area, you know, which is
oh nice.
still a really good way of doing it. If you could personally one-on-one connect to all of these people in a region, you know, you can be at the front of the line when they get ready to sell, you know.
Yeah, and do you also go in? Do you also go to appointments like you drive out there? I know that you're in the southern part of Alabama. Do you drive out there and meet them?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. And that's probably the best way of closing, not closing, but sealing your fate of having a chance of buying that community is if you see them one on one, you know, in person. That
Yeah.
just means a lot to them, you know.
Oh yeah, we at least once a week. No, at least once a month, I would say we get a text message to say, okay, hey, I need you something around the line. Hey, I'm a older gentleman. I need to meet you guys in person so we can
Yeah,
talk business. So we get those one a lot. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They
definitely it's a
want
value add.
they want to know who you are.
Yeah,
They want to know that you're going to be responsible with their community. You know, that's wild. They need to shake your hand and see you.
yeah, that's also a reason why. Okay, let me start this podcast and connect with experienced operator that can I can send them there because I know that they're pretty trustworthy. They won't go around me and just already connect them in person, especially for me. In my case, okay, I know John that is out there, and I can if I have a lead there, I can send me out there, and I build a relationship with the mom and pop because I know
Yeah,
that especially if they do want to talk to people in person.
yeah, and that's the other interesting thing about this business. Now, not everybody, but almost everybody in this business, the mobile home park space, are trustworthy.
Yeah,
It's different if we were buying casinos or oil refineries or gold mines or something. People would be killing each other, you know. But here, it's like people are trustworthy. It's just
that
that's
that's funny. That's funny that you mentioned that because I was talking earlier, just an hour ago, with another operator. I don't know if you know when. Actually, it's close by. It's pretty much close to you because he lives in Milton. I don't know if you know Robert Preston. Is
I
RV
don't think so. I built
R
built Florida.
RV RV guy. But he's a RV guy. But yeah, we were talking about this space, especially for me, that I was super surprised that everyone is super nice.
Yeah,
Everyone is nice, everyone is trustworthy. I'm having some really enjoyable conversation with folks that I was when I was still choosing my path and I was in the single family, multifamily world. Didn't find so many good people, so many trustworthy people, nice people. I don't know why. I'm
yeah.
asking, why do you think in this space there's so many good folks? Why do you think that? Do you think there's a reason for that?
I
In
don't
the
know. It's
mo
hard to say. I would say two reasons. One, there's not that many, probably, because like say if you like, I kind of grew up in a smaller town, and when you're driving somewhere and you like pass a car, they wave at you when you pass by.
Oh,
They wave, you
okay.
know. If I was in New York City, they would not be waving, they'd be blasting their horn or giving me the finger, you know. It's population difference, I think. It's something psychologically, I guess. But plus the mobile home park space, you really deal with people a lot more, you know. The residents want to know that you actually care about them, you know. So maybe that a combination of the two of those, I guess. I don't know. It's wild though.
Oh,
I'm glad it exists, but yeah.
yeah, I'm glad too. I was super surprised and still surprised here.
Yeah.
Everyone is just good people. I mean, you could have norming, you have 1,000 plus units, and wow, you give him the time. It's happening time, times and times. Actually, later on, I'm gonna talk to Daniel Weisfield. I don't know if you know him
Yeah.
from
I
3.0
don't know him
Community.
personally, but I know of him. Yeah.
Gonna talk to him later on. I'm gonna talk also to Jason Janda. I don't know if you know him.
I don't think.
From what's his? He's a Wisconsin guy. Yes. Also, he has maybe 20, more than 20 bucks for sure. But you know, so everyone is super nice. So I don't know
Yeah,
why.
definitely.
If we translate it into multifamily space, I will say no. Uh,
Yeah.
that 1,000 unit guy in the multifamily space, no, it's never this nice. Never,
Uh-uh.
never. Okay, let's move on. And what about as for value add? I guess you guys are doing the most. You guys buy value adds. Maybe I'm assuming, or maybe also stabilized properties. Are
Yeah,
you
we
guys,
do value.
are you buying both value adds and stabilized, or there's need some
In my
value add?
opinion, we haven't bought anything stabilized. We definitely would if it was a,
Big
if,
portfolio.
yeah, if the numbers made sense, definitely we would. I feel like there's stages though. As you get older, you'd probably want to have more stabilized, you know. When you're younger and you've got more energy, you might want more value add, you know. But I would be careful on the value add too, because there's
Top
been a,
three, top three things that you have to be careful on value adds.
I would say location for
Oh,
one. Like I said, I'm not against, your more rural areas, but it has to be very specific. It can't be just completely out in the middle of nowhere. It's got to be close to other, areas and growth, you know. So I would say stay away from, the places that are really in the middle of nowhere.
okay.
Um, and number two is probably just the infrastructure. You know, if you're buying something with a failing well or all the septics are bad, you're going to run into a lot of headaches.
Are you
And
guys buying those still? I mean, well, septic, or just
yeah,
some of the you guys are avoiding?
yeah, we still buy well and septic. We own well and septic, you know.
What about
We're
lagoons?
Haven't yet. I'm not saying I would or I wouldn't, but I know there's certain places that it's just the norm. I know guys that own Lagoon and they're perfectly fine with it. But I mean,
Got
that kind of got a bad name. But there's a lot of cities that their sewer system is a lagoon.
Mm.
they don't have actual treatment plants. It's actually a lagoon for the whole city.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I mean, if you really know what you're doing and you know, do it. But
And
we
what about water waste treatment plants?
I don't know a lot about them. We did look at one time. Um, maybe we should have bought it. I don't know. We looked at one time, but
Mhm.
we don't own any right now. No,
Got
but
it. And right now, you guys, I'm assuming because you guys only do big deals, but you guys also buying smaller parts or oh, it looks like, especially let's say in North Carolina, smaller parts. What is
yeah,
the smallest that you guys will look at?
we'll definitely do a smaller park if it's like a what I call a bolt on. You know, if you already own a nice park in this market and there's a down the street there's a 15 lot that makes sense, yeah, I would definitely buy that just to kind of bolt it on, you know. But it has to
Mhm.
be in a specific region. You can't just it can't be like a satellite location, you know.
Because I'm guessing you guys have a big cluster on North Raleigh and what other? Oh, how
Yeah,
it's a differentiate.
Winston-Salem, we kind of have
Yeah,
like a nice
big
little,
yeah, big cluster in North
yeah.
Raleigh and what other regions of North Carolina? Where are the big cluster?
Basically just right in that middle area of North Carolina between Raleigh and Winston-Salem. It's a fairly tight region right
Okay.
there. Yeah. So we have a pretty nice little footprint right there. Now I want
Right.
to duplicate that in all the other states.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you can get a nice little cluster of 400 or 500 lots, you know, and you could do that in every state or every state that you want to be in, you
And
know, that's a nice little way of doing it.
what are the states that you want to be in? I guess North
Uh,
Carolina you're already in, but let's say for future, where you want
uh,
to be in?
definitely just the Southeast in general. But you know, the deep South is a little bit more restricted, I feel like. It's like Alabama is a good place, but there's only just a few little small areas in Alabama that you would want to be in, you know.
Hmm.
Basically like Tuscaloosa or Huntsville or Mobile, you know, your major areas, you know. I wouldn't just go anywhere out there. Where I feel like North Carolina is a lot more, it's a lot more solid if you were to buy different things in different areas. They just have more growth in North Carolina, you know, just more stable.
Hmm. Got it. Because I was looking personally in the Andalusia area.
Yeah,
That's a small town, but it's a little pretty solid market. I was like, okay, if I find something in there, I will probably move in into the States for for a park in there.
yeah,
Even if it's even if it's in the middle of nowhere. I'm like I really like it and I I closed a single family there and I was like, oh, I'm surprised. So from this small city, so if I find a park, I'm like, okay, that's a good little town doing something in it. I don't know if
yeah.
you're familiar
Nice
with
town.
that side, with
Yeah,
that
I'm
city.
probably 2.5 hours, maybe, kind of south of there from Andalusia. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little market, but we found that because that deal that I closed, there was a wrap situation, so we got it in SAP 2 and we just pretty much wrap the terms and sell it to end buyer. But we when we put it on their Facebook marketplace, we had like 100 inquiries like,
yeah,
hey, what are the terms? I want to get in tonight. So I was like, oh, that's a really powerful market, even if it's in
yeah,
the middle of nowhere. So I
yeah,
guess maybe in Alabama you can find a lot of those niche little cities where everyone is looking for either rent to own or mobile home parks.
yeah.
Well, yeah. definitely. So as for always value, I wanted to ask you, what are the top three things that you guys go in and you know already that it's gonna improve your park a lot. Okay. We do this three things that they know it's gonna go crazy.
Oh, the top three things that we do.
Yeah.
Well, not every time, but a lot of the times we pave the roads like as quickly as possible,
Mm,
just to kick it off. Like, hey, we're serious about improving the community, and we want to make this a better place to live for everybody. And that way, you can basically kind of set the tone that, hey, this is, I know you've been living here for however long, but this is a new community now, there's a new set of rules. There's a new sheriff in town, and we want everybody to follow the rules, but we want you to actually enjoy living here. So the first thing we do usually is pave the street, you know, and that just makes the community look so much better.
different, yeah.
Yeah. And people actually, a lot of times, come out and thank us for doing it, So right there, as quickly as possible, you can make it better already.
Mm. What about the other two, Tim?
The others are just getting out all of the bad tenants that don't want to be there as quickly as possible. And I'm not saying that we go out there and just mass evict people, but and we are fair. We give people plenty of time to do the things they need to do, but there's some people that just don't want to live in this new community. They don't want to follow the rule. They want to bother people. They want to, have pit bulls chained in the yard and so those
Mm.
types of people you gotta basically you have to get them
I
out of.
was Now that you just mentioned quickly pit bulls, because I was looking at the other day in Truquillos that he just published either a post that was saying, okay, if there's any type of pit bull, it's gonna be a no-go for him just for insurance financing standpoint. What's your take on that? Because you mentioned pit bulls. Are you guys buying if there's some pit bulls in the community?
Oh, what's that now?
I was saying you just mentioned pit bulls, and
Yeah.
I saw a post the other day about Andrew Kiel's post. He said something around the line that if there's any pit bull into the communities, it's going to be a no-go for insurance purposes,
Oh,
and it's a deal breaker for them. So I just want to touch on that. What's your experience with pit bulls?
I mean, like I said, we just have rules that we have to follow, and that even aside from our rules, we have insurance on the property, and there are certain guidelines we have to follow for the insurance policy. And one of those is pit bulls and chained up in the yard, and that's a safety issue. It's nothing against the tenant or the animal itself. It's just safety for the community. And luckily, we've never had anything like that happen, but we have had plenty of people call and complain for safety for the children in the community when these wild dogs are running all over the park. So
Mm.
that's really the first thing you need to do is address safety concerns in the community. And one of those is, you know,
Pit
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's the last one? You say roads, you say all the safety concerns, and what would be the last one?
The last but not least, nobody likes it, but we have to do a rent increase in order to
Oh,
get all the stuff. I mean, but that's the money is going somewhere. We're paving
yeah,
the street, fixing the septics, we're fixing driveways. We sometimes we paint people's houses, we're trimming trees, we're doing all this stuff. And it's funny how Ryan Norris even said it. He said you have to raise the rent in order to keep it affordable. It sounds funny when you say it that way, but there's a and you we'll talk about Alabama over in Auburn, Alabama, which is a really really nice market, by the way. If you can get into Auburn, you've got something because of the college and everything. But there was a mobile home park in Auburn. It was pretty good size. I don't remember how many lots, but it was large. And now it's a Bucky's gas station. You've heard of the Bucky's gas stations?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now there's a brand
Actually,
new Bucky's
recently, yeah.
gas station right there where that park was. And that's,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And I don't know how many a year, but there's a lot of mobile home parks that are redeveloped into higher and better use, whether it be a Walmart, a gas station, or apartment complex. So if you don't bring the
Yeah.
community up to standards and raise the rent, it won't even be an affordable community there at all. So
Do you feel like there's more redevelopment, or there's new that, as far as you just mentioned, they're just removing the mobile park and just building Buc-ee's, or whatever, or there's more new build up mobile park. Do you feel
um, I don't know the number, but I mean I've heard there's like 10 a year somewhere. I can't remember. Somebody said there's like 10 per year that are built.
so?
And
They're actually, maybe they're decreasing on numbers mobile
yeah,
parks.
well, the latest number from Frank Rolfe back in the day when he was researching all that, I don't know if he still is, but at one time they were saying there's 10 a year built and there's 100 a year that are torn down or redeveloped. So it's
Um,
shrinking.
trick.
The supply is shrinking.
Hmm, that's
So if,
interesting.
yeah. And also they did some research and found that keeping up, see, mom and pop never raised the rents. They went
Yeah.
10 or 20 years without ever increasing the rent on these communities. So how would you buy a community and operate it on those former rents? You couldn't.
Yes.
There's no way. You couldn't. It would just the park would close down. You couldn't
Yeah.
operate. So you have to raise the rent in order to keep it alive. So anyhow, his research showed that given inflation, the current rents would be like 500 a month already. Not that number
Ooh,
is 100% accurate, but it was something like that, from the time they were developed until now. If you factor in inflation, it'd be like 500 a month.
500 ml.
Yeah, which
Well,
is,
that's
I mean, 500 a month to live somewhere is still cheap.
it's still cheap. But yeah, the usual that we get is like when we talk to sellers, like 250,
Yeah.
200 a month, maybe
Yeah.
350. I mean, if I hear $500 a month in a conversation, I'm gonna go, oh, that's that sounds already like a good deal. 500
I
bucks.
know. I know. The ones that you say are 350, the only reason they are is because they've talked to all these other people that have called them, and told them that. So they raised it. But if it, 3 years ago it was probably 100. I've talked to some that were 100
Oh wow.
and
And,
good
and,
and nice locations for 100.
and did you guys ended up buying it?
No, we missed it. We tried, but we just couldn't get the seller aligned on price. I mean,
Mm,
she did end up selling it, but
I can
that,
imagine.
yeah, that was a nice deal. It was a 100 lot park
Oh,
in a nice
okay.
location, so it was in a small town with a big lake. It was a nice place, and the lot rents were 100 a month.
Oh wow. Let's say you guys get in one part with $100 a month part. How is gonna be your schedule to raise the rents? Let's say the market rent is 450. How are you gonna plan to raise
Basically, we
those?
we do it like it would be probably a 5 year plan to get there. 4 years, 5 year, it would be stretched out.
So
We
maybe $100 a year.
Usually what we do is like we start out with a rip the Band-Aid off first, and then
Okay.
paper it tapers down. The year four might be $10,
Okay.
you know. But when I say that, like I said, day one, we've already spent like $150,000 on paving the roads, you know.
Yeah.
We've already, trimmed all the trees, painted houses. We've done all sorts of stuff to justify the increase, you know. So it's not like we didn't do anything, you know. And something else.
Mhm.
Sometimes we'll walk around and talk to the residents. Hey, what's something that you've been wanting done that hasn't been done? Some people just want a tree cut in their backyard or something, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And $1 million question, as an assignment guy, what gonna be something that really annoys you about assignment people? Hey, that's really annoys me. I would say one thing. Oh my God, that's really annoying.
We've only done, I think we've only done like one assignment deal, and it was pretty smooth, which I wish we could do more because, I want to do more deals. But I would say just the assigner would just have a good concept of valuations of properties and, try not to just get it a listing and, or whatever,
Hmm.
but and timeline, I guess, certain things take longer than others and, but I've never had a bad experience with with an assignment.
And let's say what is thing, something that okay can break the relationship. Okay, I would say with this guy I'm not gonna work with him anymore, even if he bring him the best deal.
I
What
was
is something that okay, I don't want to work with this guy.
just trust, I guess, I would just, I'm kind of like mom and pop. I want to know who you are and do business with you, That way we can do more of it, if we trust each other. So I would just say build a relationship with that person and trust them, and know. And I'll be straight honest with you if I can close it or not. I'm not going to tie it up if I don't have a really good chance of closing.
Mm, yeah, that's really nice.
So I would just say
And
trust.
okay, cool. What would be, let's say we found something in North Carolina, and what is gonna make it a deal breaker for you guys right now today? Like, okay, if it's this thing, even if it's in North Carolina, close to my cluster, I won't touch it.
Really, the only thing in North Carolina that jumps out would just be price. You can't
Yeah,
overpay for something. You know, just
yeah.
that's really the only thing that has turned me off there so far, other than, like I mentioned before, septic and then spacing of the homes, basically. Because we
Mhm.
we passed on a few deals that it was a smaller park, it was a nice park, but there was one septic tank for the whole park, and there
Oh,
was and there was no room to expand. And like, if the septic went bad, you're screwed. You can't add in anything else. And then another park we looked at, the homes were like halfway over the tanks. It's like when they built the park, they put a tank in and they brought the home in, and it was like right on top of it. And so if you had an issue with it, you basically
mm,
would have to remove. You would lose a
damn.
lot to fix the septic.
And not only that, maybe you cannot. Maybe it's gonna be empty after that, or no?
That's what I'm saying. The new
Yeah.
with new regulations, they wouldn't let you put a home back on that lot because we
Mm,
already spoke with the environmental department, and that's what they were saying. Well, you're going to lose that lot. Actually, when we went out there, we had it under contract, and we went out there to walk the park, and we saw the septic was leaking,
mm,
and that's when we started investigating a little bit because we've actually bought a few properties where that had bad septics, and we fixed it. So we can deal with those issues, but we couldn't do that because you're losing lots, as you replace septics.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point actually. That's really a really good point. So, maybe probably you talk a lot to sellers too, so you hear that a lot. What about expansion? What's your thought on expanding? Because you talk with a lot of owners and they say, hey, you can bring in 20, 30, 20 more mobile on here and you can make a bunch of money. So my point is, how do you deal with infill or expanding if you had that experience of actually just build more lots into your park?
We've never expanded a park. We
Mm,
have done plenty of infill, which can
okay.
get expensive. It varies region to region just because of their permitting and requirements to set a home and whatever. But we've never expanded a park. But everybody that I've spoken to just says that it's so much cheaper just to go buy another park than it is to expand one. But I
Ooh,
know people that have done it. I don't know enough about it to give a good solid answer. I just know that it could get really expensive really quickly. A lot of these parks, I've talked to a lot of owners where mom and pop built the park themselves, which is almost always the case.
yeah.
And and pops was out there with a tractor doing the water and sewer line
So,
thing. So that's free labor, they did it themselves. But if we did it, we'd have to have several different contractors, electrical, plumbing, and all these different contractors doing all the work. So I don't know. I don't know if
the,
it. That's why we never put any value on it. When we always have sellers tell us that, yeah, well, you could
yeah,
put lots down here. I just always tell them that, like, yeah, you could. It would cost me so much money. That it's not. I can't give you any value for it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And okay, cool. How do you see mobile parks the next 5 to 10 years? How do you how do you feel? Do you see this space?
I
What
think
direction?
it's going to continue to speed up as far as the consolidation. I mean,
Hmm.
I've seen that just in my short amount of time in the space that, you look at these parks and you see the owner and you go to follow back up and it's sold or, you start, when you look enough, you start seeing the same names of companies that own these parks, and these owners. So it's going to continue to speed up, but you could still do it now and create a nice portfolio and get some strength built up. And you could always buy portfolios from these other operators that way. But you would need to get in soon and build up that, strength.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, last question. Any any other advice that you have for anyone starting into this space? Anyone that is starting any other advice that you might have that came on?
I would
Yeah.
say just concentrate on adding value. I mean,
Mm,
just figure out where can you add value to somebody else's life, basically. And also, I would say keep track of what you're doing. Because when I started, I had like notebooks and a pen, and I was just going crazy. Where I wish I would have started day one as this is a business and this is what I'm doing, and keep a schedule and keep everything organized. And also
yeah.
now there's so many tools out there. Like you said, you had somebody doing all the cold calling. There's so many cheap tools out there that can add value to your life and make it easier for you. which I'm doing that now. I have somebody that helps me full time, keep things organized.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Any Oh, that's one thing that I wanted to ask you for sure. What about private money lenders, or how do you guys, what type of private money lenders do you have? Let's say someone wants to invest on your guys' fund or whatever, or one of your guys' project. What type of people are you guys looking for? There's two extremes. I would say the monthly check people, monthly distribution people. Well, they're just equity tax benefits guys. How, uh,
Uh, it's gotten really complicated over the last couple of years. Before it was me, my partner, friends, and family, and we did whatever we had to do to scrape by to close a deal, And now it's like we just have a group that it's like they're ready at any moment, basically, to they're asking us, hey, when's the next deal? So the money is there at this point. It's not a problem. The hardest part is just finding deals.
and what type of money is that? Is more equity people guys? So in the long term people, or just
Yeah.
monthly distribution type of people? What type
I
of?
mean, we do both. It just depends. Early on, it might be a year before, it just depends on the deal. I mean, there's some that actually last year we closed the deal and the very next month we're getting paid basically. It was such a good deal that we're just sending out returns the very next month. And then like the first large deal I bought, I didn't see anything for over a year, just trying to get it stabilized. So it varies so much deal per deal that,
You
based on what the investor wants, we can place them at different areas, basically.
got it, got it, got it. You guys, I guess you have a fund or a syndication. Uh,
Chris handles that, but it's mostly syndications.
got it. And do
Yeah.
you guys plan to expand on some type of fractional type of thing? So
Oh, what do you
I don't.
mean?
Well, basically allowing non-accredited investors into the.
Oh, I don't know really. I don't know. Probably not, but Chris is the finance guy. He handles that part. So, I mean, I'm not really sure. I just know that we've got some really good investors behind us that understand the space and they're pretty much ready at any moment to
Yeah,
to find the deal. It's just you just have to find the right deals.
yeah,
But
okay.
I would say I the thing about the fund, I wouldn't want to be pressured to close. And I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to be pressured to constantly place money everywhere and have to be worried about that.
yeah,
I
I
just
can
like
imagine.
I just like finding opportunities and then go in that direction, then find the money as opposed to just trying to raise all this capital and then doing it the other way.
Mm.
Some
No,
people don't
that's
like that. They just want to. They think, and here's the crazy thing: the money is like the least important thing.
yeah,
The most important is the deal. The second is the operations, and then it's the money. The money's everywhere, and that's the thing that I think a lot of new people, if they think like I did, they was the first thing they was worried about is the money. How am I going to buy this if I don't have the money? I don't have any money. I can't do this. It's like the money is the easiest part. You find the deal, you can find the money.
yeah. I agree. Definitely agree. Any before we log off, any project that you guys, you people are going on, maybe what's going on with you guys? Any future project that you guys have?
Pretty much just concentrating on filling some of the parks that we own right now. The one in Tuscaloosa, it was like 50% occupied when we bought it,
Ooh, that's
which
heavy and feel.
yeah. But the thing is, with that park, it was built in 2000, so it's relatively new compared to a lot of mom and pops. It was built in
Yeah.
2000. Um, it was actually engineered. It was actually built to plans, which is also kind
Mm,
of rare, you know. And the sewer system is like a commercial grade engineered system.
okay.
And the guy that built the park, I think he just got tired. And because I say it's 50% occupied, it's because the other 50% of the lots were never filled. They didn't
Mm,
just become vacant and abandoned, they just were never filled. He filled the park about halfway and just he transitioned into self-storage. He owns a whole bunch of self-storage in this area in the same town that he built. So I think he just got tired of dealing with people, maybe. But it was such a great opportunity, and the lots are filling easy. Now that I bring homes in, they sell quickly.
oh wow.
That's
That's a really strong market.
yeah.
What percentage are you guys now of infilling in that project?
Well, it was 50% occupied, and I've brought in what 10 homes. So it's an 85 lot park. I brought in 10 homes. So
So it was like what, 43?
yeah,
Now you're born in 10, now it's 53.
something like that.
Okay, so you're planning to, well, what's the projection on the how many years it's gonna take to get in
Well, we
100%
had
occupied?
had a really conservative approach. Just get it to 60 lots in 5 years, which I mean, I think we're going to
Oh,
do 2 years, you know, or less, and then we'll probably look at refinancing the park.
yeah, definitely. That's a home run.
Yeah, we bought it. We bought it on a. I maybe shouldn't even be telling you all this, but we bought it owner finance. I won't tell you the price, but it
Okay,
was owner
that's
finance.
fine.
It was a really good deal, like almost a unicorn, but it was owner finance, uh, 5 year seller carry, and interest only for 5 years.
Oh, nice. What's the interest rate? Interest only?
I can't remember. It was like 5%, I think.
Percent.
Yeah,
Wow,
just
that's a home run.
yeah, just because the guy that we bought it from, he owns a business, so I think he kind of has a better concept of financing terms, and you know, where a lot of mom and pops they hear owner finance, they might just say no right away just because they think you're trying to get something over on them, you know.
Mm,
But I feel
yeah.
like this guy having a business background kind of understood it a little bit more.
And do you guys expect that the market would have performed that well?
Well, yeah, well, we did a whole lot of test ads before, you know.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, we did a lot of. Number one, I already knew the market. I already knew Tuscaloosa, a college town. That's something
Yeah.
I already had confidence going in. Second, we did plenty of test ads, and third, um, there's some major operators that are in that market already. I don't know if you've heard of Stone. I'm trying to think.
Uh,
That's
if
Roy Lapidus is the guy that owns the.
no, no,
Anyhow, it's a major.
same.
There's some major players in that same town, you know. So that's the indication right there, you know.
Yeah, solid market.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's something
Uh,
else to think about, you know. If you're looking at a market and you're kind of maybe hesitant, like who else owns in this area, you know? Is
yeah.
it just some serious people here, or is it a bunch of, you know, still a bunch of mom and pops? I don't know.
Mm. Definitely. That's actually a good point. I mean, I know you guys, I mean, North Carolina is pretty solid. I know you guys out there, and there's a bunch of looks like, at least from what I'm seeing, I feel like North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, Alabama. Mm, pretty much that's it. Because there's something in Wisconsin, maybe Midwest, maybe, but that's really strong. bullish in the southeast. For
Yeah,
some reason, everybody's buying there. And there's also the polar opposite there in California. I think there's some strong people in there, even with all the crazy stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, the other, the other, the other part of the U.S. is such a so and so. Oh, yeah, that's definitely Michigan and Illinois. There's some pretty much strong people out there. But yeah, anyhow, thank you so much. We're going a little bit over an hour. For being here with me, John. Where people can find you, send you deals and all that crazy stuff. And if you want to join your syndication, where people can find you.
you can send me an email at jevans@sixrockprop.com. That's the letter J, Evans.
Okay. And if people want to see your website or whatever and want to see what property that you guys own, do you guys have any website or any presentation? I'm just talking mostly for investors, so people that want to see your deals.
Yeah, you can go on sixrockprop.com and see the properties we own and stuff like that, and contact us on there.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know for a fact that we're gonna make some money together, so thank you again for spending this a little bit over an hour with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I really wish you well. Thank you again and have a great one.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.